Let's talk about now what constitutes a good life and how to build it. I've got some things for you to consider by the time we finish here today, so take good notes. I've got a wide range of subjects that I want to cover, and let's get started. First of all, we're engaged here in the process of self-education. Self-education. Accelerated self-education can mean so much to your life if you get serious about the chance and about the opportunity. That's why you got to spend the money, got to spend the time, and got to go wherever ideas are being shared for the accelerated chance for your self-education to be meaningful to your future. Self-education. Here's a key phrase. It's not what happens to us that mostly determines our future. It's what we do with what happens. What happens has been happening for the last 6,000 years. Opportunity mixed with difficulty. The chances have come and gone. The spring has come and disappeared. The summer is here and then it moves on. The harvest is here, and whatever the harvest is, that is soon finished. And the dark night of winter comes. We get through that. Now comes the next spring. The drama of life is continually unfolding. And the circumstances of life are about the same now as they probably were 6,000 years ago. People trying to get along, people trying to blend their talents together, build a country, build a community, raise their families, make life meaningful. That's been happening for the last 6,000 years. But at this moment in life, faced with some of the same challenges, same circumstances, same things, here's the big question: what can we do about it? What can we do with it? And we've got a chance to do something remarkable. We've got a chance better than anybody else to gather up information, send it out there so that people can make wiser choices and make their lives probably more meaningful in the short period of time we've got to be on the spinning planet than any other individuals have had for the last 6,000 years. We've got the chance to do that. But what I want to talk about here today is how you and I can personally gather up information so that we can make wiser and wiser choices about what to do with our own personal lives. What to do with this opportunity, yes. I'm going to talk a little bit about recruiting. I'm going to talk about, why multi-level, why network marketing. I'm going to talk about, a full range of things. But this is the big drama for us here at this moment. What can we do about our own personal lives? How we feel about it. Our own maturity about it. We've arrived at a pretty good time here. I've been around for a while. You've been around for a while. We've got some experience. We've been out there. You've been touching the people. You've been conducting meetings. You've gotten some feedback. You've been wrestling with the problems. You've been expanding the opportunity. We've now got some stuff to work with. We've got some stuff that we can refine. Here's a good phrase Mr. Shoaff gave me when I met him all those years ago. He said, what's easier to refine is experience versus conversation. Somebody says, well, if I go out and tell people this, what about this, what about this, what about this? Finally, you have to say, John, why don't you just go out there and talk to people and come back and tell me what's happened? It's easier to refine experience than it is conversation. Because conversation can go on for a day, it can go on for a week, it can go on for a month. You can play the what if game, what if they said, and then what if I said, and what if he did? And what if I didn't, and what if he did, and what if they did, and what if this? And you can develop the scenario on and on and on. Here's what you have to do to shortchange all that. Go get some experience. And then come back and say, here's what I said, and here's what he said, here's what I did, here's what they did. Now we can start refining it and make it meaningful to you. So we've got some experience now. You have not come from empty rooms. You've not come from an empty life. You have not come empty-headed. You have not come, just brand new saying, what's this all about? I mean, you've been out there, so you know what it's about. You know how it plays in Peoria, as they say in the political world. You know what the feeling is now on Main Street and some of the side streets because you've been out there. You've talked to the people. You've gathered up some business. You've got it underway. So what a good time to get together and see if we can't refine our experiences. So let's talk about that. First of all, you must be interested in your own personal future. Before you help anyone else, you've got to take care of yourself. I used to use the old expression, you take care of me, I'll take care of you. Found out how short-ended that was. Here's how I changed it to read, I'll take care of me for you. if you'll take care of you for me. I'll take care of me. I'll develop myself for you. If I become 10 times wiser, 10 times stronger, 10 times better than I am at the moment, think of what that will do for our friendship. So the best way I can help you is to help myself. The best way I can help you to grow is to grow myself, right? The best way I can help you out of the ditch is for me, first of all, to get out of the ditch, and then see if I can't lend a helping hand to reach down there where you are and give you a helping hand, get you out of the ditch. So we must be self-interested, but self-interest must be enlightened. Take these notes. This helped me all those years ago, that my own self-interest was okay. That if I was interested in myself, my life, my future, if I was interested in my health, if I was interested in myself, what life was going to mean for me, I found out that was okay, as long as I became enlightened in the process. And the final end of the enlightenment has to be this: everybody wins. And if you'll take that into account, it's okay to be self-interested if everybody wins. And I've just got a few notes for you to take here. Some of you that have been through my leadership before, we talked a little bit about this, but let me just refresh your memory. Enlightened self-interest is okay as long as everybody wins. And here's some unique ideas along that line. The first one is, if you wish to be great, have great accolades, great trophies to put on your mantle, plaques to put on the wall, reputation and accolades from your peers, that's fine. Here's how you get it, though, in an enlightened way, and that is at the service of others. Greatness at the service of others. Greed is simply hoping for something at the expense of others, hoping for something for nothing, hoping for more than your share. We don't need any greed. We should legislate against greed when it finds itself in collective places. You're right? Some people should go to jail. We don't need greed in the marketplace, contrary to the movie Wall Street. Greed is not what drives the market. Greed is the evil part that lurks there, as a bit of evil lurks in all of us. Because here's the ultimate goal of life. You might make this note here. The ultimate goal in life is to become the most of the good in us and the least of the bad in us. That conflict resides within all of us. So we must drive that dark side of our nature into a small corner. But now if you become enlightened in terms of self-interest, it's okay, because greatness at the service of others is legitimate, because everybody wins. He that wishes to be great, let him find a way to serve the many. And there's no better opportunity for all of you than to take hold of this opportunity and reach out and serve the many. I know you're on your way. Just start thinking in larger numbers. That is the key to greatness, figuring out ways to serve the many. Now, here's how you get good at it. Start with one or two. Start with whoever's close at hand. Start with somebody next to you. Start with a neighbor. Start with a friend. Start with a relative. Start with somebody. Pass along an idea to someone that's weary, the ancient prophet said, and you've done the greatest of deeds. Speaking a word in season to someone weary. It means start with one. Yes, I do a seminar. I had 2,500 the other night in Sydney, Australia. But it took me a while to get 2,500 people in a seminar. My first seminars were 25, 30, 40, 50, and 100. If you would have said, right, you got to go talk to 2,500, you wouldn't have been able to find me. I would have ran away. Couldn't have talked to that many people. But you can then, people now do come and say, Mr. Rohn, 1 year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, here's what's happened to me, thanks a lot. But guess how that all gets started? One at a time to begin with. If you sit down with someone tomorrow morning and have breakfast and recommend a book, recommend an idea, pass along something to them, they may well come back a year later and say, Here's what's happened to me. And you know where it all got started? That breakfast we had the other morning when you said to me, read this book. I'm telling you, that led to another book, led to another book. That led me to take this class. And there I met this person. And then this happened, and this happened, and this went on. And guess what? This whole chain reaction started back when you took the time on a Tuesday morning to recommend a book. And you can have just as many accolades as I have. Yes, I've been out there for a while. Yes, my audience is larger than yours. But I'm telling you, where you get the practice is one-on-one. One-on-one. I love to talk one-on-one. I'm probably even better in smaller groups than I am in larger groups. I'm a lot more animated when the room is small, when there's just a few. In my enterprises, a lot more animated. I'm a lot more conservative at this podium. I'm a lot more conservative when the audiences are this large. But when the room is small, maybe once in a while you might have a chance to get in on one of my small rooms where I let it all hang out. But anyway, touching people one at a time to get the practice. Here's how you get the practice to speak to 1,000. You speak to 1, and you speak to 2, and you speak to 3, and you speak to 5. But here's what you must do. Speak with the intent of getting better, so that when the occasion calls for you to speak to 100, you'll be ready. When the occasion calls for 1,000, you'll be ready. Ready to serve the many. That's where fortune is. It is easy to earn a fortune if you render fortunes of service. And it's called legitimate fortune. You don't have to apologize for it. You don't have to feel bad about it. If you have served that many, then you deserve the fortune. You deserve the mega return. If you wish to be great, find a way to serve the many. Here's the next self-interest tip. To be ruler over many, you must be faithful with the few. To be ruler over many. Some of you have got visions here now of building a big organization, and well, you should have. With this opportunity, there's no reason why you cannot. Think in terms of 10, and then 50, and then 100, and then 500, and then 1,000. Before too long, there's going to be some of you, your own organization, when you call a meeting, will be this size. I want to have a chance to drop by when just your organization's key people represents a room full of people just like this. That's going to be an awesome experience for you. But here's what I'm asking you to do. Earn it. Earn the privilege of having an organization of key people this big. I'm telling you, people sitting in this room right now, it won't be long until you will have earned the right to have this many key people in your class. And if I get a chance to come and pay you honor, I will be happy to do that. I love to watch people grow. I love to watch them change. I love to watch them pick up the challenge. Some of you I've known now for just a little while, and already you're making changes. Right? When we get people new, I'm telling you, it's interesting. Right? They're scared when they start. Stand up, forget their name. Couldn't talk for a minute if they had to. Now it's hard to get them off the platform. Be faithful when the amounts are small. Next, to understand that life responds to deserve, not to need. That is the key. Once you understand that little twist of refined education, that life responds to deserve, not to need. The key is to not present your need to life. The key is to present your skills to life. Present your skills to the marketplace. Guy goes to get a job and he says, well, I need this, and I need this, and I need this, and I need this. And the marketplace says, could we please talk to somebody else? This guy's got too many needs. So here's the key. Present your skills, present your willingness, present your eagerness to the marketplace. Don't present your illness. Don't present your need. Don't present your wants to the marketplace. The marketplace is not interested in what you want. They're interested in what you contribute. And if you switch around and say, I'm going to whisper my wants to the people who understand, and I'm going to share my skills with a marketplace who needs my services. So life responds to deserve, not to need. The great law of the universe does not read, if you need, you will reap. Here's how it reads. If you plant, you will reap. Finding ways to plant. That's what this session is all about. Finding some extra ways to plant more diligently, to plant more efficiently, to plant more consistently, to plant more enthusiastically, to refine the planting until a little planting now yields a lot bigger harvest than a lot that was carelessly done maybe 6 months ago. That's what this is all about, the refinement of your time, the refinement of your activity. But here's the key. Bring your seed to the marketplace. Not your need. Hide your need and show your seed. Bring your skills. The marketplace will respond. The need is already there. We don't have to worry about the need. Somebody once gave this secret to success. Let me give it to you. It's in a few simple parts. Here it is. Number one, if you want to be successful, find a great human need. Find a great human need. Now, we could go through a long list of human needs, right? Humans need liberty. Humans need food. Humans need shelter. Humans need information. Humans need a support system, especially in those early years. Humans need friendship, camaraderie. Here's a major one. Humans need enterprise. We were meant for enterprise. Old Testament says what? 6 days labor, 1 day rest. That is a clear indication. Humans were meant for enterprise. We were meant to make something of what we've been presented with. Seed, soil, sunshine, rain, miracle of life. We were meant to see what we could do with opportunity. See what we could do with an economy. See what we could do with chances. That's what life is all about, enterprise. So if you wish to be successful, find a great human need. Humans need dignity. Humans need self-esteem. Humans need good health to sustain themselves for as long as they can possibly live. Humans need to think beyond themselves. Long list of human needs. But the secret to success says, find a great human need. Then here's the second part. Then find the answer. Now, how can we find the answer? And here's what's exciting. When genius minds get busy, they find an answer. When minds of experience get busy, answers are on the way. When the genius goes to work, you can expect a masterpiece. When a genius begins his task, you can expect a corporate work of art. When genius begins to work, you can expect harmony and symphony. When genius goes to work, good health is soon to follow. When genius goes to work, organizations can be created. Politically, the country can be stable if genius goes to work. If genius rests, if genius is wasted, if genius is not employed, we all suffer. So thank God for the genius that comes and finds an answer to the great human need. Now here's the third part. Number one, secret to success is find a great human need. Number two is to find the answer. And here's number three, to take the answer in quality and quantity of service to the marketplace. To take the answer in quality, and that's up front here, quality service. That's got to be up front with you, quality service. A good idea in the hands of a careless person does not serve the country well. A good idea in the hands of someone who lets it slip, lets it drift, tarnishes it with immorality, I'm telling you, does not serve the country well. But a good idea in careful hands, a good idea interested in quality service, and then the next word was what? Quantity. Really pouring it on. See how many numbers you can put together. See how many people you can reach. Start thinking in terms of, instead of 5, think of 50. Instead of 50, think of 500. Instead of 500, think of 5,000. And soon you'll be able to think of 50,000. And you'll be able to think of 5 million. I'm asking you to do that. Find a great human need. Find the answer to the need. Take the answer in quality and quantity of service. And then here's the last part. To as many as you can reach in a lifetime. Why not make a good idea a lifetime quest? As many as you can reach in a lifetime. Now, maybe it's the lifetime that you want to participate, but at least an extended vision on out there that calls forth the best in you of training, laboring, developing, finding out what's possible and what you could possibly do with it. Find a great human need, find the answer, take the answer in quality and quantity of service to as many people as you can reach in a lifetime. That we call bringing value to the marketplace. And then if you do that, here's what happens. You deserve the reward. You deserve the fortune. You deserve the return. You deserve the pay. Be faithful when the amounts are small. But take up a cause. Take up a great human need that's already got now a ready answer. The answer is in the making, yes. The answer is in the development stages, yes. The answer is going to be refined, yes. But there's enough of an answer here now to bring great service to the people in the marketplace. Be faithful. Deserve it. And the return will be yours. Here's some more on self-interest. If you wish to find, you must search. Got to be congratulated for being here today. You're on the search for good ideas. You're on the search for information. You're on the search for inspiration. You're on the search for camaraderie. You're on the search for human contact. You're on the search for the vision. You're on the search for making it clear. And I appreciate that. And here's what it says. If you search, you will find. It is a promise. Now here's the last one on enlightened self-interest, and we'll move on to another subject. And that is, if you wish to receive, you must give. Giving is part of the human drama that is so extraordinary, it's beyond belief. The ultimate in giving is to give your life. But short of that, giving can take on the dimensions of something that moves the human heart and the human soul. Giving is the widest, broadest, deepest, most incredible opportunity life can possibly afford. The ability to give, the ability to share, the ability to take a piece of your life and invest it in someone else's life. And here's your best chance for a miracle, investing life into life. Just take that phrase with you and ponder it. I've used it before, but it bears repeating. I have a chance today to invest my life in how many people's lives? Quite a few. No telling how many miracles might come from this opportunity. To invest a piece of my life into your life. To invest a piece of my experience into your consciousness. And let the genius of your mind pick that up along with the rest of what you've heard here on this special occasion. And see if you can't transform it into a tapestry. You can't transform it into harmony. You can't transform it into activity and enterprise and business. And then you'll deserve the return. If you give, you receive. In fact, the prophet said this, it's much better to give than it is to receive. Now, for those that are not educated, that wouldn't make sense. But here's why giving is better than receiving. It's because giving starts the receiving process. That's why it's better. Giving does not mean it's gone. Giving means it's invested. What do we expect from an investment? A return. And here's the rest of it. A return multiplied. Now, here's the last part of enlightened self-interest that is so important. All sophisticated people would say, I wish to pay fair price for what the paying will make of me. Just make that note. I wish to pay fair price. You're going to be asked to pay, not just the cost of being here in time and money. You're going to be asked to pay fair price as you move through life, as you move into this opportunity, as you move out there into the marketplace. You're going to be asked to pay. But here's what you want to say. I wish to pay because being able to pay has made something of me. And that's the greatest value in life. Not what you get, but what you become. Be willing to pay this price here in time and effort and energy. A bit of your cash, yes, but the biggest cost is going to be your time. The biggest cost is going to be your energy, your effort. Putting in your language, putting in your words, using your vocabulary and your skills to the best of your ability. Investing it. Paying the price, picking up the tab. Considering the cost, yes. But the price here is very small for the return. Because the return can come back multiplied in so many ways. Not only multiplied for your income, but multiplied in satisfaction, multiplied in self-esteem. You can imagine, as I now get to travel the world, and as I get to come back here, people said to me, Mr. Rohn, the last time. They said to me a few months ago. They said to me 6 months ago. They said, Mr. Rohn, at the convention. Here's what's happened to me since then. Your words have meant something to me. I've watched the programming, and it's touched my life. I've heard it, and I've gotten value from it. Thank you so much. You see, you can't buy that with money, right? You got to go through customs. You got to get on an airplane. You got to stay in a hotel. I don't need to stay in another hotel. I don't need to sleep in a strange bed. I don't need to eat coffee shop food. But guess what? I gladly do that. I'll eat Denny's any day if it's on the way to talk to you. Any day. Small price to pay to put up with a few inconveniences. Small price to pay on a daily basis to put out the energy and to put out the effort for someone to say, your life experiences was meaningful to me, here's what's happening. Small price to pay for the return. Now that we live in an extraordinary country, now that you have a hold of an extraordinary opportunity, and now that you've got a chance to be around extraordinary people who share among themselves extraordinary ideas, there's no reason why the small price that it's going to cost here in time and effort and energy cannot give you a return beyond your imagination. Little did I know growing up in the farms of Idaho that the return for me would be so gigantic. Little did I know when I met my mentor at age 25 that by paying that bit of price of rearranging my philosophy and paying a bit of the pain of giving up the blaming someone else and taking the blame myself, that bit of pain that I had to go through accepting full responsibility, the bit of pain I had to go through learning those skills, the bit of pain I had to go through doing it over and over, learning the skills of communication, learning the skills of recruiting and sales, learning the skills of organization, learning the skills of enterprise, the bit of pain I had to go through. Little did I know back then how small the price was going to be compared to the incredible return. And I promise you that will happen for you. If you will carefully here pay this price. If you will consistently here pay this price. If you will conscientiously here pay this price. I promise you, the reward will come in dimensions that you cannot now imagine. You will have places to serve. You will have places to go. You will have people coming back to you as the years unfold saying, you've touched my life, you've touched my health, you've touched my family, you've touched my future. Along with your bank account that grows, that's not the most important thing to grow. Here's the most important thing to grow. Self-esteem, self-worth, self-judgment that says, I paid the price, the return is mine, it tastes sweet, and it's not just the money in the bank, it's not what you can count in terms of coin. It's what you can count in terms of heart. It's what you can count in terms of soul. It's what you can count in terms of friendship. It's what you can count in terms of relationships. It's what you can count in terms of someone smiling in your face and saying, you're meaningful to me. You've been valuable to me. When you add all of that up, it's beyond rubies. It's beyond diamonds. It's beyond millions. It's beyond treasures hidden away in the earth. It's beyond all other value, this kind of value that's shared among human beings. That's why I'm here, right? I'm not here for the money, don't need the money. I'm not here because, I just love to travel, right? I am here to make an investment. And the drama of payoff for me, especially the last 25 years, has been so extraordinary that to have a chance one more time to come here and make a deposit of my experience, I wouldn't have missed the opportunity. I wouldn't have missed it. Whatever I had to do to get here. Fly all night, fly all day. Take care of whatever tasks need to be taken care of, right? When I finally discovered this morning my suit need ironing, guess who ironed it? Guess who pressed it? I did. Pressed my own suit. Pressed my own shirt. I thought sure they'd be okay, but I didn't check till this morning. You're supposed to check the night before, and I was a little late. So sure enough, this morning, before the proceedings were underway, I'm up there with the ironing board. You should see me. I'm a sight to see. I am not good at it. In fact, it probably shows. I appreciate that. But guess what? I gladly do all that. To have a chance to come here and invest one more time, share my experiences one more time, enjoy the success already achieved here one more time, but also to see if we can't labor faithfully with our minds and with our attention and see if we can't grasp a bit more of life, the essence, the opportunity, the chance, and see if we can't blend that with our ability, our eagerness, our willingness to commit and be faithful to a cause and see what it'll do for ourselves and our family and the people we care most about, make a contribution to the country, and who knows, eventually to the world. I wouldn't have missed that chance. That's why I'm here, and I know that's why you're here, and we're going to carry on. For some of you that are here for the first time, I should probably just briefly tell my story. I grew up in Idaho, farm country. My father still lives there on the old homestead. He just turned 92 a few months ago. And I was on the other side of the world, but when I got back home, just a little while back, he was so proud to show me he got his driver's license renewed for 4 years. 96. So he's excited about that. Anyway, I went to high school, this little farm community, southwest Idaho. Our farm overlooks the Snake River. Neat place to grow up. I was born in Yakima, Washington. But my parents moved to Idaho when I was 1 year old, so I grew up there. And I went to high school, graduated, went to college 1 year. Halfway through my second year, I decided I was smart enough and quit. Big mistake on my part, but I made it. Thinking I'm smart enough to get a job, and at the time I thought, you know, if you're smart enough to get a job, how much smarter do you need to be? So with that bit of shallow thinking, I quit school, went to work. A little while later, with some fancy promises, got a young lady to marry me. Fortunately for me, she said yes. We started a family, and I'm out there working as hard as I can, but falling a little bit behind every year. Probably normal, living the normal average American young couple's life. But I'd made these big promises, and I was working hard and trying to make it fit. But by the time I reached age 25, I got pennies in my pocket, nothing in the bank. Creditors now calling once in a while, saying, you told us the check was in the mail. I'm getting embarrassed by all that. And really embarrassed about being behind on my big mouth promises to my family, wondering what should I do? Where could I go from here? And then good fortune came my way. Difficult to describe sometimes how something remarkable happens at a particular time. But my good fortune was I had a chance to meet a rich man. Not just rich in money and wealth, but rich in ideas and rich in experience, as I found out later. A friend of mine went to work for him, and he said, you got to meet this man. And he described him, said he's rich but easy to talk to. His philosophy of life was unique. And I got so intrigued, I said, I got to meet this man. Had a chance to meet him, Mr. Shoaff, Earl Shoaff. I was impressed. He was rich, obviously. But he was easy to talk to, comfortable to be around. And as soon as I met him, I said I'd give anything if I could be like that comfortable and that rich. And what would it take to live a life like that? I was so intrigued. And then I thought, if I could just get around somebody like him, if he'd teach me, I'd learn it all. And that was my good fortune. He hired me a little while later, and I worked for him for 5 years before he died at age 49. But the last 5 years of his life, fortunately for me, I got to spend those 5 years with him. And my dream came true. He coached me, taught me. He taught me the principles. He taught me to refine my thinking. He bluntly told me the truth in terms that I could understand. He had only gone to the 9th grade in school, so he had a way of putting things in simple terms. And I got the message. And the things he shared with me during that 5 years before he died literally transformed my life incredibly changed my bank account, changed my income, changed my future, changed everything. And what a chance that was for me to get around someone who had the ideas and was willing to share. A lot of rich people aren't that willing to share, but I found one that was. And it was an extraordinary experience. Changed my bank account, certainly. By the time I was 31, I was a millionaire. But he changed my thinking. A lot of the things I speak about today, the origin of those thoughts came from that 5-year experience. I've expanded on it. My own experience has taught me. And I've had other mentors along the way that have added to my life, given me things to ponder and wonder about. And they have coached me and taught me along the way. But this was the beginning. Now, my parents laid a great foundation. I was an only child. They spoiled me. But they also taught me, laid a good foundation that served me as an anchor all these years. But Mr. Shoaff opened up the world and let me know that I could become anything I wanted to become. My income could change, my health could change, my relationships could change. I could do whatever I wanted to, travel the world and live an extraordinary life. He opened that all up for me during that 5-year period. So I will always be grateful for having a chance to meet someone and to spend some time with someone who cared so much about investing in someone else's life. I was the beneficiary. I promised him before he died that I would share with the people I worked with like he shared with me. And that was the beginning. I didn't know it was going to be for the public. And now I do public seminars. Living in Beverly Hills, a man said to me once, "Jim, you got to come tell your story to my service club, the Rotary he belonged to." And I went and shared this breakfast speech. They liked it. My phone rang 2 more times that day. And I started spending some time talking now, little talks, breakfast talks, luncheon talks for the public, for these service clubs, outside my own business. And liked it very much. Then one day a man said, "If you'll come talk to my management and salespeople, I'll pay you." And that started a whole brand new career, speaking for companies, corporations, as well as for the public. But it started with this man who was willing to impart to me his teaching and his training over a 5-year period. And some of the notes that I'm now about to share with you, you'll find, I'm sure, some identification with, because the little company he had me start with that he was a part of was called AbundaVita. AbundaVita was a little multi-level company, we called it back then, network marketing we call now, and that was the first time I had ever seen the increasing discount schedule. And my mother had studied nutrition, so I was interested in nutrition, and this little AbundaVita program was a nutritional product, and here's what we called it, a nutritional support system. When you eat a plate full of food, you can't be sure that you've gotten all the vitamins and minerals. So if you take these 2 greens and 1 yellow, now that erases the question mark, and now you're sure. And so I started with that little product and got introduced to network marketing. Now, he got me to building homes and developing land. I built homes in Arizona and a few other enterprises. But what made the most impact on my life was my association with him in network marketing. And he sold me on the fact that I could make a fortune. Farm boy from Idaho, raised in obscurity to the rest of the world, limited education, 1 year of college, that didn't matter, that I could use this new plan. And back then, the increasing discount schedule and network marketing was fairly new. One of the old originators was Nutri-Light. Nutri-Light was the forerunner of the big daddy now, Amway. But it was just getting started back there in those early days. The increasing discount schedule, multi-level, home-based business, start part-time, and I learned it. Now, I've done a lot of other things in terms of enterprise, from fine jewelry to the taco business, and you can't be much more diversified than that. to personnel agencies, to land development, to building homes, to whatever intrigues me around the world. But the massive effect on my life was Mr. Shoaff and his simple philosophy of taking personal responsibility, and that the greatest value in life was what you became, not what you got, and being exposed to multi-level network marketing. It was absolutely extraordinary. I got so excited, I could hardly sleep nights that first year. I multiplied my income by 5 first year. I started part-time. My first goal was to make as much money part-time as I was making on my full-time job. I did that in about 4 or 5 months. My next goal was to make twice as much money part-time as I was making full-time. I did that in about 7 or 8 months. Now I'm still reluctant to go full-time. And the reason? I didn't want to give up my story. If I could show you a way to make twice as much money part-time as you're making full-time, would you be interested in at least taking a look? I'm telling you, I could recruit anything that breathed. At least I could get them to look. So finally, it didn't make sense not to go full-time, but I was reluctant. I wanted to keep that story, making twice as much money part-time as I was making full-time. Now, I didn't have much of a challenge because I wasn't making that much money. By the time I ended the first year, though, I did multiply my income by 5. Now, it didn't take all that much to multiply it by 5 because I was a clerk in a store working for Sears when I met Shoaff off the farm, so I wasn't doing very well. But anyway, what a drama that was on my life. And my other enterprises are all special to me, and all the things I've done. Mr. Shoaff gave me an entrepreneurial idea. He said, find a uniquely talented person and build a company around him. My home building company in Arizona was such an enterprise. And give them a piece of the action, set it up and go for it. What a time saver that turned out to be later. Because I used to start something and try to find somebody. He said, no, find somebody and then start something. So I did that. And now, of course, in Idaho, it's agriculture and livestock. My neighbor and I are going to probably put a little vineyard in. Idaho's getting to be famous now for its wines. A little place called Saint Chapelle. Neat little place. And so all that diversity. But the drama that changed my life and still affects my life, and the people I love to spend the most time with are people like you that find this kind of opportunity that has such a magnificent reach and does so much in terms of exposing you to ideas for personal development, setting goals, leadership, and all the rest of the skills that are difficult to come by working in orthodox corporate America. Now, orthodox corporate America is part of the stability of America, and it's part of the scene, it's part of the marketplace. But the dynamics, especially in the last 50, 60 years of network marketing, giving a chance for what I've been teaching kids now for a lot of years, for capitalism to flourish at the grassroots level. A senator asked me not long ago, what is it about multi-level? What is it about network marketing that makes it flourish so well? And here's what I told him for your notes. I said, it's grassroots capitalism in action. And I was exposed to that at age 25, how to turn pennies into fortune. Now, years ago, it used to be franchising, but they finally got out of reach for the average person to reach for. So along comes network marketing, a chance to turn desire into riches. Napoleon Hill wrote the book, Think and Grow Rich. And here's part of the essence of the book, how to turn desire into riches. Now, there's some steps in between desire and riches, but you begin with the desire. And that's what's phenomenal about network marketing, a chance to turn pennies into fortune, a chance to turn nothing into something, a chance to truly make the American dream come true by participating in capitalism at the grassroots level. I learned all that when I was 25 years old. I was so stunned by the increasing discount schedule marketing plan That first night, I was up till at least 3 o'clock in the morning, and I made about $2 million. I'm telling you, on paper. Now, it's a little more difficult to pull off in person, but that first night, I was absolutely dazzled beyond belief. And I played, as you have already played, right? The what if game. What if I had 3 and if they each had 3? What if I had 5 and they each had 5? What if I had 10? What if I had 100? What if I had 100 and they each had 5? And those 5 each had 2? I'm telling you, that first night I became wealthy.